Hi there, this is Coach Anna with Rewind.
Hey, it's Coach Jeremy with Rewind.
And today we're going to start off with making some really simple salad dressings at home. It doesn't have to be intimidating and it can be super, super simple. I think Jeremy and I, we both relate that we like no fuss things, right? We like things that don't take a lot of time, and especially things where you don't need essentially formal recipes where you kind of just throw things.
Yep, just going with the flow, grabbing things out of the cabinet and rocking and rolling. So.
Exactly. So first we'll start off with a cilantro lime yogurt dressing. And Jeremy, oftentimes when we talk to members about kind of substitutions, right? How do you cut down calories? We use yogurt for a lot of things.
Right.
And why do we do that?
Well, it's versatile.
Yeah.
You can get a good unflavored yogurt. It cuts down on calories and you're able to kind of get the consistency you want, the flavor you want, and again, just be mindful of those extra calories that you might find in like a grocery store dressing or things like that.
Exactly. It's so versatile. And the other thing too, it's got such great protein content. And so in this cilantro lime yogurt salad dressing, what we're gonna do, of course we need some cilantro here. So this is one bunch of cilantro that we're gonna use this blender to help us make this dressing for. And then of course we have our star of the show, our Greek yogurt here. And the nice thing about Greek yogurt, in addition to all the points that Jeremy just made, is that it really does have such a high protein content in a cup of yogurt. Depending on the brand, you get anywhere from 15-20 grams of protein. And that's a lot more than non-Greek yogurt. So we definitely recommend using the Greek yogurt kind, right, Jeremy?
If you're gonna use yogurt, you might as well get that extra protein benefit. So yeah, for sure.
Okay, all right. And you know, sometimes it doesn't always look that pretty, but we're gonna blend it up anyway. So that's the beauty of the blender. Oh, and I got some on the counter, and that's how it goes. All right, so we got our cilantro and our yogurt in there, and then of course we need our lime. And so to get a little bit of that extra lime flavor in there, you can use a nice zester in here. So I'm gonna actually zest a little bit on top. You don't need a lot. This is just to get that extra zing in there.
And you can save the lime for later. It's
yeah.
On top when
Yep, absolutely. Okay, the other trick that I wanted to show is in a lot of these dressings, if you want to use garlic in these dressings, and I purposely got some here where I didn't cut up, I didn't do anything with it yet. So I just wanted to show that to get the peel off really quick, you can actually take your knife, and this is always kind of fun. You can smash it just like there, right? You know, you have a long day at work, you need to just take that stress out, smash the garlic, and then the peel comes right off. So that's a nice little trick right there. And then you can just cut off the end. And since we are just throwing it in the blender, you don't really need to do much else. So we'll get that in there. So I'm just putting a second clove of garlic in there, and I already smashed it. So we'll get the garlic in there. And one thing that I thought we could also point out is the fact that a lot of people like creamy dressings, right? And that's where the yogurt really comes in order to get that creaminess, but to cut down on those calories, and then in bonus point, get that protein in. And the nice thing too, I find about these, this peel, these blender kind of dressings is you can, if it's not the consistency you want, you can add a little bit of water, you can add maybe some more yogurt, and you can kind of play around with it. Like, doesn't have to be that strict, you know, quarter cup of this, half a cup of that, you know, that sort of thing.
There's a lot of ability to freestyle and make it your own.
Yeah.
And then, you know, once we get to the point, you can kind of bottle it up and then have a good collection of the kind of yogurts that you want.
Absolutely. All right, so, and you know, I'm just looking at this. We may need more yogurt, but I'm gonna see. So typically in a lot of dressings there's a lot of oil in it. It can be, right? You think about vinaigrettes and that kind of thing. There can be a lot of oil. And we have some olive oil here, and it's got good flavor. We can add some. We do want to be mindful of the calories, and a tablespoon of oil, that's about 120 calories. But at the same time, you're not going to be having this entire thing of dressing for one salad, right? So that's 120 calories, probably divided by, you know, 4 or 5 servings, something like that. Yeah, so we'll put a tablespoon in there. And you'll notice this is the only thing that I'm actually measuring, right? The other things I sort of just ballparked it. And so that's what we're gonna do. All right, and then we have some seasoning. So let's just, and again, we've got some salt here and just some pepper here. So we're going with the
simple.
basics.
Yeah,
we're going with the basics. But you know what? You can make it whatever you want, right? You want to put some garlic powder in there, some onion powder in there.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to make it spicy, right? Some cayenne in there.
And we've got a lot of flavor in there from the cilantro.
Exactly.
Adding some salt and pepper just to kind of top it off. So that should be really good.
And again, I'm kind of just eyeballing that, doing a little spoon of each and then just seeing how it turns out. All right, let's see how it goes. I have a feeling we might need to put a little bit of water in it to thin it out, but let's just see. All right, so just mixing this up, and you know what I noticed, Jeremy, is it's a little bit on the thick side. Yeah. So I think we could add a little bit of water, and of course, water has no calories, right. So calorically, we're not doing anything different. All we're just doing here is thinning it out.
And the nice thing about water is it's not going to change that flavor profile too much. We're not adding an amount that would water it down necessarily, or add anything that we don't like. So.
Exactly. So we'll blend this now. All right, I think that's a nice consistency. Perfect. And the nice thing is you can store these, we've got some mason jars here, so you can store them and keep in the fridge for about 3 to 4 days. This we had put right about a cup of yogurt in, and so, but we did thin it out with that water, so I do think we'll get a little bit more than a cup. Let's see. These are 2-cup jars here. So this, I would say, could definitely, you know, let's say you were preparing for the whole week. You could bring this into work, and this could really be your dressing for the week, right? You just throw it in the work fridge. Yeah, you got to put your name on it, right? Keep it on the lid. Yeah, excellent.
And one thing to keep in mind is if you don't like your dressing that thick and thin, it doesn't have to be that thin.
Exactly.
Work with what's best for you. Some people like a more thicker dressing. Some people like the thin, and that makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got our cilantro lime dressing here to go in our container. And Jeremy, walk us through an even simpler dressing that doesn't even require a blender.
This is my jam. So literally all it takes is a ranch packet, right? And you can get this at any grocery store. You just kind of go down your dressing aisles, so it would be in a box form, okay? And then again, we're using our yogurt. And it's just 1 and 2, and that's it. So we'll take our ranch packet here. Be careful, it is a little powdery, and we would recommend having the yogurt first before the powder.
We learned the hard way on that one.
That way you'll have a good even mix. And I'm just gonna dump this whole thing here. We'll just go for it and see what happens. So have that, we'll grab our whisk, we'll give it a good stir here. And again, it looks like our ratios may be a little bit off as far as the thinness, but again, we can add to this and get it the consistency we want. So right now we're looking at a pretty thick consistency, right? So I think I'm gonna grab some water as well. So I do have some milk, but I'm gonna just throw some water in this one. Again, just a little bit, kind of stir and work through it and then go from there and see what it's looking like. So,
And Jeremy, what's typically in a ranch dressing?
What do you mean?
I mean, in terms of some of the substitute rates, typically we would add, it would be a lot more buttermilk, right? We do have some buttermilk here.
We do have buttermilk, so you can do the milk. Again, if you want to go the lower calorie angle, the water is a good substitution as well. Again, similar to yours, it's not going to add too many calories. And again, it's kind of getting there. You know, you can keep working on it to get it the consistency you want. I like mine a little bit thicker, I'm gonna be honest with you. So I'm probably not gonna add that much water. So this might be it for me, for mine.
But it's nice how you can customize it, right? You thinner, thicker, whatever kind of dressing texture you like on your salad.
Exactly. And I would challenge you, you know, for anybody who wants to make this, bring this to a party or bring this to a function and have it out. I guarantee you they wouldn't know the difference.
I love that. I love that.
So this is kind of our finished product, a good kind of thick, creamy ranch dressing. Again, it's just powder, yogurt, a little bit of water, whisk it up in a bowl. You know, it takes 30 seconds to a minute max, and then you're good to go. So.